So the biggest news in the entertainment world and in the celebrity gossip world is how Taylor Frankie Paul is the first bachelor or bachelorette for that matter to have her season of The Bachelorette canceled due to DV allegations. Now, some are not surprised, other people are shocked, whereas many people don't really understand the true controversy of Taylor Frankie Paul being the Bachelorette because of her fame, because of her fortune. Normally, the Bachelorette is some random woman from Illinois who is looking for love, true love. Taylor Frankie Paul is a mother of 3, 4, has slept around, is known for being a swinger, and known for basically not living the traditional Mormon lifestyle, and that's led to super great TV in some people's eyes. That's led to mega controversy in other people's eyes. People were not happy by this Bachelorette signing, but it's the Bachelorette. It's been around forever. People are going to watch it. She's also from my hometown. It didn't get really pushed to the forefront until her co-stars from The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives stepped in and said things about Taylor Frankie Paul that caused production of the show to pause for season 5, and that is when it became viral. But whatever, promotion for the upcoming season still went on as Taylor Frankie Paul appeared everywhere.
So on that note, what do you want people to know?
I feel like I've just been misunderstood for like years now, and it just would be so freeing to like tell the whole story of it, you know. And I feel like I've just done a lot of protecting for my child and my family to really not get into that. And I feel like I've been, you know, I've never touched my children, and so for me it's been to see those headlines has been heartbreaking, and my family obviously is all affected. Like, they all know who I am, I know who I am, so for everyone in the public eye to like just elude and believe it is really hard.
Then around a week or so ago, a week and a half, that's when the allegations started really becoming big prevalent questions no matter what show Taylor Frankie Paul would go on.
All about your Bachelorette journey, but first I want to give you the opportunity to respond to recent headlines about the alleged domestic violence incident with your ex-boyfriend.
Honestly, it's been a heavy time to see the headlines, especially during this time of The Bachelorette being released, and it's supposed to be a really exciting time. I'm a person that will always speak my truth, and that's what I'm known for, and so when the time is right, I will be. But right now, just trying to be in the present moment and focus on this. But the thing is my kids do come first. Mm-hmm. My kids come first, and so it's been like just a back and forth process, trying to be here in the present moment, worrying about, home and headlines. It's been stressful, to be honest.
We did reach out to Dakota, and we did not, for a statement, we did not get a response from him. Now we have reports that The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives has paused production now, and then season 5 was in production. Reports say it's paused. Is that true?
Honestly, I don't call the shots with production, so as of now, I have gotten word that it also has been paused, but I do not call those shots. So as far as I know, it was, but I don't know for how long and why.
I know you're one of the executive producers on the show.
Yeah, I got told that this year.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know, and I was like, what does that mean?
How do you envision your future on that show?
Hard to say now, right? Just because of, everything going on. It's hard to see past this, I'm not going to lie. In this moment, it's just so heavy. When your life is broadcasted out there in these headlines, it's like the end of the world. Right. That's what it feels like. I'm not going to lie. But I will say I've been here before, and I got through it, and, shared my story, my light, so I'm hoping that I can do that again.
Yeah.
Nothing too alarming. People didn't think much of it, probably because maybe she's a woman.
That'll never be a topic that's that doesn't obviously I feel like a lump in my throat, because it's just such a hard time in my life. And so I never really even think about me in that situation. Obviously it's like my kids, because they were involved, right? They were in the house, and the charges were all dropped. I never had hurt my daughter. I never intentionally did anything with my children. I never have ever. And so that was the hardest time, just because I am such a passive mom and really good to my kids. So to be known as something like that was that is the worst time. But in that moment that we see on screen, I see a lot of pain. And I didn't have any tools at that time. So I was very lost, and I remember you can hear it on the tape, and they're like, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm in so much pain inside, and I'm literally it's on the tape, I'm crying, because he's like, what? He's acting like I'm hurt. He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, there's so much pain. I guess I never even look at it for me, like, the time. And that's why I felt guilt. It's just, like, because I could have been, like, my therapist is like, you were trying your best with what you knew you had. I never been through anything like that, so I didn't have the tools. And they were like, but you have to give yourself grace because you didn't know and you didn't have it. And I was like, but that you could have. They're like, so you did the best that you can, and they're telling me this in therapy, but I'm like, no, I wasn't, though. I wasn't for my kids. Like, I think I was being very selfish, and I've accepted that I was selfish at that time, but I've learned from it, and I've been trying to, make up for it, and obviously immense amounts of therapy and tools and learning, and made up time with my kids, and having to, deny a lot of opportunities, and it's because I want to be with my kids. Like, I did have a lot of time of grieving and loss that I don't want any more wasted time for my kids. They're only small for so long. So it was, one of my lowest nights on freaking TV, and it's embarrassing, but with that has come a lot of learning lessons, and I've become a better mom because of it, because in my next relationship, and even just the one, like, the little dating that I've done, it's just like, I'm sorry, but I don't want to go on a date. I want to sit here and I want to ride bikes with my kids tonight. And that's what I'm choosing, because that is, to me, what feels like I should be doing on my days. That's what I should have been doing. It was a lesson learned.
Now, about a week ago at this point, it seemed like all systems were a go. The Bachelorette would premiere on Sunday, March 22nd. That is until it got crazier. The video that was released by Dakota showing Taylor Frankie Paul literally beating the piss out of him was released, and here's actual evidence. Here's a picture of Taylor Frankie Paul having Dakota in a chokehold. I know the pictures are blurry, but here is Taylor Frankie Paul throwing a chair at Dakota with their daughter sitting by a couch. For those saying she was never there, she clearly was. Taylor Frankie Paul responded by saying, "It's sad to see the latest installment of his never-ending, desperate, attention-seeking, destructive campaign to harm Taylor without any regard for the consequences for their child." More on that in a second. Releasing an old video which conveniently omits context on their son's birthday is a reprehensible attempt to distract from his own behavior. Thankfully, the public has seen this act before and knows who he is, and sadly, many will recognize this pattern of manipulation. This is all unfortunate timing, but also at the same time, it's not a surprise. It's due to someone who doesn't like to see my success or happiness. Now, this was a spokesperson and Taylor Frankie Paul herself speaking on this. She also said, Dakota filmed the incident to have a record of what he says happened. He was concerned he wouldn't be believed. Investigators have had this video since 2023. Women and accountability. Am I right? I don't mean to sound sexist, but we all know it's true. Now, people want to say reactive abuse. Well, also, I've said this before, I've said it again. If you have been a victim of this heinous act, whether it be a man or a woman, A, have your ducks in a row. B, do not be afraid to speak out, because you will be more known as a strong individual, a strong human being for speaking out ASAP, not waiting for this time or that time like people are accusing Dakota of doing, literally just days before her Bachelorette premiere. That's what makes people have skeptical hippo eyes, in the sense that, oh, he would release this just days before her big moment, when in reality, it was just told by me to you that the cops have had this video since 2023. So clearly she wasn't arrested or charged or with anything, or she could still be going through this as we speak, and it was just time for it to come out. And as if she wasn't already hated by the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives co-stars, they gave her a reason, like Stephen A. Smith does give people a reason to hate him. A few of her co-stars said, Miranda Hope said, "I've honestly been a little at a loss for words trying to process this all. Everything has been really heavy to see. DV and abuse of any kind is something I take very seriously as a human, and especially a mother. I cannot support that kind of behavior. My heart is with the children in this, and I hope they are safe, supported, and surrounded by love." Another co-star said, "My personal history as a survivor makes it impossible for me to stay silent. I stand firmly against domestic violence in any form. I am keeping her children in my thoughts, hoping for their safety above all else." Now, Dakota, many people wondered what his statement would be. Well, it was exactly this. He said, "As anyone who has seen the video will understand, this is a deeply upsetting situation. I am unfortunately used to these baseless claims about me and our relationship, which I categorically deny. I am focusing on our son and his safety, and hope that Taylor will do the same," which I don't think she will, or has proven that she will. And rightfully so. Just as the video released, it was announced that Taylor lost custody of their son. Now, for the idiots that are like, oh, they should still premiere the show. First of all, you condone DV, and I can just tell you act like you don't when in reality you do, especially because it's at the hands of a woman. You don't think twice about it, and you think that's okay, so shame on you. Number two, look at MVP and Gervonta Davis. I talk about sports ad nauseum on this channel. When Gervonta Davis was accused of doing what he did to one of his baby mamas, they pulled him off the card. Many people were upset when former UFC fighter / ex-NFL player Greg Hardy was on the same card as Rachel Ostovich, who, by the way, is a survivor of DV. So, yes, ABC did the right thing by pulling the plug on this. And for those of you that are sad about it, grow up and realize that me and other men that have gone through this are just simply keeping that same energy. So to give you guys better context, ABC abruptly pulled The Bachelorette Season 22 after a 2023 video of Paul fighting with ex-boyfriend Dakota Mortensen surfaced online. Definitely go check it out. It's probably on YouTube and your local Instagram / social media. The network decided to not move forward with the season premiere just 3 days before its March 2022 release date. The footage shows Paul throwing bar stools at Mortensen and accidentally hitting her child. Like Marty Supreme said, these are facts. Y'all can't weasel your way out of this one. And it wasn't until this video released that Taylor's casting was questioned. ABC casted Paul as his first ever Bachelorette lead with no prior ties to the franchise, betting her viral Montauk fame would bring in new viewers and revive the show. Paul's 2023 arrest and ongoing legal constraints were already public, raising questions about ABC's vetting process and whether red flags were overlooked. Her volatile on and off relationship with Mortensen was already well documented on her reality series. That's another thing that makes this thing so shocking, is the fact that ABC, Disney, Viacom, they do extensive background checks to the point where they will go ask your elementary school teacher what you were like as a child. They'll go ask the person that delivered you at the hospital, how was the deliverance? What was he like or she like as a baby coming out of your mom's genitalia? Honestly, they dropped the ball on this so hard, which almost basically forced ABC's hand to, yeah, we did cast her knowing all this, so it's in everybody's best interest, even our best interest, to just cancel the show entirely. Now here's where it gets dicey. ABC could be out tens of millions of dollars if it can't find a way to salvage The Bachelorette. Includes license fees to Warner Bros., international distributor, marketing costs, and lost revenue. Warner Bros. Executives are taking a wait-and-see approach to wait what's going on and staying in touch with ABC. Taylor's statement says, Paul alleges she had endured years of mental and physical abuse as well as threats of retaliation and is now taking steps to protect herself and her children. Paul added that she had remained silent out of fear of further abuse, but is now preparing to share her story. As I've already said, if you're going to come back, play the victim, which I think she is, and say, well, look at what he did to me, let us see what he did to you. Because if you come back with your own evidence, then you might actually have a leg to stand on. Because what everybody's saying, from your cast members to just random people in comment sections of these posts, nobody believes you. Now, yes, there's those outliers that just want to be dumb to be dumb, but at the same time, just come out with your story right away. Maybe they were waiting to see if ABC would still pursue with continuing with the show, or now that it's canceled, why not come out with it now? Again, come with the receipts or don't come at all. But she is totally playing victim because she even owned up to it on a random podcast. This is her straight from the horse's mouth. Please tell me, how are you going to defend this?
And so it started with sadness. I was crying to Dakota, like hysterically bawling that I was so sorry for everything I've done to not only him, but my ex, my life, everything. I was like hysterically bawling. I remember that. We get home and it turns to anger, like full on anger. Like I was a different person. And I went crazy. I was throwing things.
And this was in your house with Dakota?
Yes.
Okay.
And so I didn't know my daughter was downstairs on the couch. They're usually in their beds when I'm home. We had a babysitter. I came home and she was on the couch and I was throwing stuff. And so I threw a chair towards him and...
At Dakota?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was charged with child abuse because it could have hurt her. And so in the state of Utah, I don't know other states if they have it, but it's called reckless child abuse, meaning if you
throw something and it possibly did hit your kid or it hit your kid, that's called backlash child abuse.
I'm at least coming with the facts. Why can't she? Why can't the people defending her? So it will be interesting to see what else happens next. I do not think that this season of The Bachelorette will even premiere. I did see something that they will just go ahead with Bachelor in Paradise and literally lock this one away in the dark like they should. As far as from a legal standpoint, there is nothing that I saw where she will be going back to court for this, if she will be serving prison time. Nothing of that matter has happened. It may have just been a thing of the past, and this will just be a case of her ruining her reputation with this video coming out, and as it should, because God forbid a man does it, he would be buried so far down, he could never recover from this financially, he could never recover from this publicly, from a popularity standpoint, and rightfully so. So the same should happen with Taylor Frankie Paul. She should not be able to make a comeback from this unless some refusable evidence came into play where, oh, we have to believe her at that point. No, she should be buried and never have a platform ever again. And it starts with us. It starts with us just simply ignoring her and holding her accountable for this happening. And if you're a man, or even a woman for this matter, that has gone through this, I'm deeply sorry. I'm here for you, and I pray and hope you find the help that you need, the closure that you need, because men go through this. Whether you believe it or not, men do get abused by their partner. So this should be a victory that a woman is finally getting canceled, that Taylor Frankie Paul is now officially the poster woman for abusing a man. We should be celebrating for her being held accountable and for her season being canceled. And if you're a man that has gone through this, throw it on the barbecue. Have a shot of whatever drink of your choice is, because this is 1,000,000% wrong. And I'm happy she's being held accountable for it. And I pray that any other woman that does this, whether she's at the highest of highs of fame or the lowest of lows as far as popularity in the world that we live in, that they all get held accountable.